The bottom line is, if you don't believe you can do something, achieve something, change something, you won't be able to. The work that needs to be done is on your beliefs, on your thoughts, so that your brain is open to the idea, so that you are comfortable with proving yourself wrong. And that is where you're going to see your results change. That is where you're going to begin to change your life, so that your efforts aren't done in vain. So what does that look like? How do you do that? Steer, my friends. Welcome to Becoming Tantalum with me, Megan Bonnell. Discover your brightest self in a journey of transformation and resilience. Let's embark on this path together, starting now. Hello, and welcome back to Becoming Tantalum. I am your host, Megan Bonnell, and this is the podcast where we journey together to unlock our fullest potential. Today's episode is all about creating results, mastering your mind for a life that you love. I cannot wait. So before we get into this content though, I wanted to let you know that I have had quite a few people ask about details for the Tantalum tribe. So at the end of the podcast, I'm going to give those details. So if you're interested, hang in there. If you are not interested, then just listen for my cue, because that's for you to sign off. So it's time to level up, my friends. And it all starts in one place, your mind. So let's dive in. We're going to start with understanding the power of your mind. So our mind is the control center of our lives. The way we think, the way we feel, and the way that we perceive the world shapes our reality. It's like a garden, and what we plant with our thoughts and with our beliefs yields what we get in terms of our results. And so today we're going to learn how to cultivate this garden, if you will, to yield the life that you desire. If you are new to the podcast, I have a suggestion for you. In episode 7, we talk about a process called steer. And that's really important to understand before you get into this podcast. So I'm going to give you kind of a nutshell version right now, but I would love for you to go back to episode 7, listen to that, and then come back. So here's the nutshell version. STEER stands for situation, thought, emotion, action, and results. The idea is that all situations are neutral, right? Void of emotion. But then we add our thoughts to it, and those elicit feelings or emotions, and those emotions drive our actions, and our actions create our results. And then a culmination of all of those little mini results is the canvas of your life. So you have control over your thoughts and your emotions and your actions, which means that you have control over your results. If you want to change how you feel, you change the thoughts that you have. And if you want to change your results, then you either change your thoughts or your emotions or your actions, and that changes the results and eventually changes your life. That's the Cliff Note version in 17 seconds or whatever that was. But I highly suggest going back to episode 7, give it a listen, dive a bit deeper, because understanding how that works is huge for understanding the concepts that we're going to talk about today. Okay, let's get into this. First, let's talk about aligning our thoughts with our goals. So our thoughts are powerful tools, and they either can propel you forward or they can hold you back. And so if you want to create the results that you want, you have to first ensure that your thoughts are in harmony with your aspirations. So I'm going to give you an example. I've worked with many clients who want to lose weight. The foundational challenge they have is overeating, but it's all math, right? Calories in, calories out. It's that simple. On paper, yes. But in real life, there are so many obstacles laced into that simple equation that it's challenging to get to the result that you want. And many of my clients come to me and they start our conversation with, I've tried it all the diets, all the exercise, none of it works. I can't lose weight. Did you hear that sneaky thought that was in there? Actually, there's 2. None of it works, and I can't lose weight. Here's the truth. The programs that they've tried do work, and they can lose weight. Everybody can. That is what matters, except to them, because they believe that they can't. And if that's what they believe, then that is all that matters. If you believe you can't do something, your brain will make it nearly impossible for you to do it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But our brain is programmed to believe what we have learned, what we've experienced, what we've been told on repeat. So if you've tried various diets and exercise programs and you were unable to lose weight, or maybe lost the weight but then gained it back, you're training your brain to believe that the programs don't work and that you can't lose weight. And then your brain will spit out thoughts through that belief filter. And at that point, you're just undermining all of your efforts. And you're right, nothing is going to work. Not only that, but our brains function on something called confirmation bias. Have you ever heard that? Confirmation bias is real life. So this is the idea that your brain will seek out confirmation for what it already believes. So we don't want to be wrong. Your brain doesn't want to be wrong. It avoids that at all costs. It feels gross. It feels icky. It's really uncomfortable. So if you want to believe that you can't lose weight, your brain is going to find the evidence to prove that you're right. And it's going to throw all kinds of resistance and all kinds of obstacles your way to prove that you're right. So as you move through these new programs and you move through these new diets and new exercise routines, you are going to confirm to yourself that belief, because your results are going to show that you either can't lose it or that you'll lose it and it will come back. Yikes. That seems like an impossible lose-lose situation. And this is just one of 100 examples that I can give you. So maybe being overweight or overeating isn't your issue, but you probably have something in your life result-wise that you want to achieve that you just haven't been able to. And that is how your brain is functioning. The bottom line is, if you don't believe you can do something, achieve something, change something, you won't be able to. The work that needs to be done is on your beliefs, on your thoughts, so that your brain is open to the idea, so that you are comfortable with proving yourself wrong. And that is where you're going to see your results change. That is where you're going to begin to change your life, so that your efforts aren't done in vain. So what does that look like? How do you do that? Steer, my friends. So let's use the weight loss example, okay? That steer is going to look like, the situation is that you're overweight and that you want to lose weight. And the thought is going to be, I can't lose weight, nothing works. And so your emotion is going to be defeat, perhaps, or before you get started, maybe even doubtful that it's going to work. And there could really be a handful of emotions there, right? But they ain't good, whatever they are. Your actions might be strong at first, but eventually you're going to falter, right? So even if you start off on course, eventually your brain is going to throw in those obstacles, throw in those challenges, and you're going to fail. You can't beat your brain. You never will. So the results will stay consistent. And ultimately, you either aren't going to lose weight or you'll gain it back. And you're proving yourself right. I've seen it time and time again. So dear goodness, there's no hope. Right? Is that no, wrong. So I want you to let that steer exist. Okay. So whether it's about weight loss or it's about something else, and then I want you to create another one alongside it. You're going to stack your steers. Okay. In this one, we're going to start at the bottom with your results. So you want the result of, you want to lose weight and you want to keep it off. Okay, so your action needs to be that you eat better, that you have some sort of sustainable exercise routine. Your emotions to that has to be determination, pride in your progress, confidence in your ability to lose that weight. And your thought has to be, I can lose weight. It's inevitable. I just need to keep trying and be consistent. To think that, your belief has to be, I can lose weight. Do you see how it's all tied in? So you have these two steers stacked. But that's a big jump to go from believing that you can't lose weight to believing that you can. And this is where you do work on what I call step thoughts. So we're going to kind of step our way from one steer to another. I know that you can't go from I can't lose weight to I can lose weight, but you could go from I can't lose weight to something simple like I have a body. You can believe that. This is true. And that can be your new belief and thought that you go to. And from there, you could go to something like I appreciate what my body does for me. From there, maybe you could go to something like I value my body. From there, maybe you can go to I love the control I have over my body. And from there, you can see we're getting closer to I can lose weight, right? Do you see that progression? So every single one is a tiny little step, and taking those mental belief small steps is where your success is being held captive. That is where your work has to be put in. That is where you consistently correct yourself, where you don't allow the old thought to exist and you tell yourself a new story over and over and over on repeat, with reminders, with motivation, with passion. And where does that passion come from? It comes from your desire to lose weight. It's all inside of you. Your diet isn't what does it for you. Your exercise isn't what does it for you. Your mind does that, and it just follows the direction you give it. So if you're giving it the direction, I can't lose weight, it's going to follow that. If you give it the direction, I can lose weight, and here's how I'm going to do it, it's going to try that with all its might. You have to force yourself to create thoughts that are going to align with the results that you want. Once you can do that, your results are inevitable. If you truly believe that you can lose weight, it's inevitable that you're going to do that and that you're willing to do whatever it takes. If you truly believe that, you will make it happen. But if you hold on to your belief that you can't lose weight, you never will. Or if you do, it'll just come right back. So apply that to your life, because maybe it's not a weight thing, but do you understand where I'm going with this? Your thoughts have to be in harmony. Your beliefs have to be in harmony with the results that you want. It's mind ninja status, my friends. So I have some thought work that I want you to do. I'm going to pause a little bit here so you can do it as I go through. So beliefs are the roots of our thoughts and our emotions. To change our results, we have to first address the beliefs, right? That's what's under all of your thoughts, all of your emotions. It's how your brain is programmed. And all your brain does is just follow its programming. You have to change that programming. So I want you to think of a result that you want, preferably one that you've been trying and maybe failing at achieving so far. Is it overeating? Is it losing weight? Over drinking? Is it building a successful business? Improving your relationship? Becoming a better version of yourself? Being happier? Being less angry? Think about it. Come up with one. And now I want you to ask yourself, what beliefs are limiting you? So what beliefs do you have deep down that are keeping you prisoner from making progress towards your desired result? On the opposite end of the spectrum, what new belief could you step toward that can empower you? Okay, now here's the kicker. Are you willing to prove yourself wrong to achieve the result you desire? Are you willing to be wrong in order to have what you want? It's uncomfortable. It sucks. You have to fight yourself hard. Are you willing to fight that battle? I can tell you it's 100% worth it every single time. Achieving the results that you want, living the life that you desire is 100% worth every battle that you will fight along the way. Are you willing to fight it? Are you willing to be wrong? Are you willing to fail and believe it will happen anyway, so you get back up and you try again? Are you willing to keep going when it gets hard? Here's where I have the advantage. I can tell your future teller. I know that you can do it. I know that you have it in you. And I also know that the belief and the thought battle is the first one that you have to step up to and win. You need to transform your beliefs into results. That's a direct connection. And you can do that when you're ready to do that, when you're ready to do hard, when you are ready to fight for yourself. But let's be honest, there's more to steer than just your thoughts, right? So let's talk about managing your emotions to drive positive action. Emotions fuel our actions. If you're ruled by negative emotions, then your actions are likely going to be counterproductive, right? Conversely, if you have positive emotions, then those are going to drive you towards constructive actions. So emotions are just as important as those thoughts. And we have control over our emotions, just like we have control over our thoughts. And just like you can't allow a negative thought or a negative belief to take residence in your brain, you can't allow a negative emotion to either. When you feel that doubt, when you feel that lack of confidence, when you feel as if you're out of control, you have to correct that. Force yourself to feel differently. Why? Let's start with that because the whys are really important. So imagine that you're trying to build a business. It's scary. It's hard. And what if you are harboring emotions like self-doubt or fear of failure? Do you think that you can act bold, daring, and take the steps that you need to take in order to build a successful business if you feel that way? No chance. You need to feel confident. You need to feel willing to fail because you know that failure is just information. You can't allow confusion and you can't allow indecision, meekness, or doubt to drive your actions when you have something as bold of a result as building a successful business. Businesses aren't built in that. You need to force yourself to feel the emotions that drive decisions that are going to get you the result that you want. In this case, building a successful business. So how in the world do you do that? There are so many tools that I teach my clients, one being what we covered earlier, which is managing your thoughts, really transforming those beliefs. But another one of my favorites is act as if. So let's put together a steer for a successful business. And again, we're going to start at the bottom. Okay. We're going to start at the results. So you know that the result is going to be a successful business. So what do you have to do to make that happen? You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. You have to be willing to try things that are really uncomfortable for you. You have to be able to learn, fail, apply. You need to be willing to be bold and consistent and determined in your actions, right? That's what needs to happen for that business to be successful. But in order to do that, you need to feel that, right? The act as if concept is that you put your mind in your future self. So imagine that you already have this successful business, that it's already successful and you're looking backwards. If you were to give yourself advice from that result, from your future self, what would it be? What would you have done? What does that future successful business person feel like? They don't feel a lack of confidence for what you have in front of you because they went through all that and it worked. Feel that. They don't have fear of failure because they know that they failed and they kept going and it worked. Feel that. Feel that confidence, that guidance from the future you, instead of allowing your current self to live in this state of doubt and fear. Allow that future you to elicit emotions that you need to drive the actions that you need to take. There's other tools that you can use as well. And I've worked with many clients who feel as though the results that they want aren't possible. But choosing to feel how you need to feel, choosing those emotions that you need to have to achieve the results that you want to have is a powerful process. And regardless of the tool that you use to get there, that's going to drive you toward your results instead of chaining you to your lack of progress. So we've talked about you have to change your thoughts, transform your beliefs, really pick the emotions that you need to feel, but let's get practical. So what does that actually look like? You have to transform your belief into results. You need to change how you feel to drive the actions you take to create the results that you want. We get this. But be ready, because creating results is about taking consistent, purposeful action that is aligned with the new mindset that you are going to forcefully create in your head. So, how do you go about doing that? I'm going to give you kind of a nutshell version in 4 steps. Okay. Number 1, you need to set clear, achievable goals. So you have to break down your result and break down each piece of that into actionable steps. So I have a ton of different 5-week course series. So 5 weeks to stop overeating, 5 weeks to stop over drinking, 5 weeks to crushing your goals, 5 weeks to improving relationships. But all of them have this in common, because it is so important to have very clear, achievable, actionable goals. The first step to any result that you want is to create a goal that works for you instead of you working toward it. Second, you need to develop a routine. Stay with me here. You need to incorporate daily practices that reinforce your new mindset. So remember that the battle that you're fighting, at the beginning at least, is with yourself. So you have to incorporate daily practices that reinforce your new mindset. Stay with me, okay? Remember that the battle you're fighting is with yourself, with your brain. On a daily basis, you have to do the mind work to convince yourself that you're wrong. That's uncomfortable. And prove to yourself why your new belief is right. And this is intentional, and it's consistent, purposeful work. If you don't shift your mindset, eventually you're going to prove your original belief correct, and you're going to give up, and you're going to fail. So you have to develop a routine where you do your mind work. That's 100% necessary for any sustainable, positive result that you want in your life. And my friend, this work is hard, and you're worth it. Step 3. You are going to track your progress. So you're going to keep a journal or log or monitor somehow your journey. Okay, so maybe you aren't the journaling type. I don't care. Who has time for that, you might ask? You do. Your future self that wants the results, that gain the results, that person has time for that. Why is this so important? Why is this journaling thing so important? You have to have evidence for yourself. You need to prove to yourself that you can do this, because that's what's going to help change your brain, right? That's what's going to reprogram it. You need to celebrate your mini wins. Celebrating is a huge piece of it. That increases your motivation. It helps you to stay on track. You need to have an explanation behind your failures. Failing is just information. I actually keep a fail folder for my business. This is a true fact. And I make goals for my fail folder. It's 5 failures a month. And I feel like if I didn't fail 5 times in a month, then I'm not trying hard enough, because each of those fails is giving me information that I need to have of what not to do, of what doesn't work, of how I need to shift direction, what needs to be done differently. And that is vital in continuing to progress. That's huge. Failing is not a bad thing. It's just information. So tracking your progress is huge, okay? For your motivation, for your confidence, and necessary information that you need to achieve your results. So that's step 3. Step 4, I need you to stay flexible and adapt. You have to be willing to adjust your strategies as needed. And I want to clarify, I'm not talking about changing your direction as far as the result that you're trying to achieve. I'm just talking about changing how you get there. If you know, or your future self knows, that you're going to get the result that you want, then if something isn't working, you just have to try something different, right? You need to be flexible, and you need to be able to adapt to your failure information that you're gaining and be willing to press forward anyway, not making it mean anything against you. You have to be willing to learn what you don't know and make decisions that make you uncomfortable and stay your course. I love using a math problem as an example to illustrate this. So, do you guys remember when you were in school And all of the math problems, like the odd answers, were in the back of the book. And so you would do a problem and then you would go back and like check your answer, but you couldn't just write the answer. You had to do the work, right? Well, I remember so many times that I would do the work on the problem and I would go back and look at the answer and I wasn't right. Not a single time did that make me feel like there wasn't a solution. I knew there was an answer. I knew I was going to reach my result. Obviously, what I used to get there just didn't work, right? So I would try a different method. I would try again, and sometimes again, and sometimes again, and sometimes you need to get help, right? But I knew that there was an answer. I knew there was a solution. I knew I was going to reach my result. It was just a matter of how I was going to get there. You have to be flexible and willing to adapt. Your result is there waiting for you. You just might have to try a few different times and fail a lot of times to figure out how to get there. Success is inevitable if that's what you believe, but a straight path to get there is certainly not. Flexible and adapt. So, my friends, as much as you might cringe to hear this, the results in your life currently, the life that you're living currently, was your doing. But let's, instead of cringe, let's turn that around to empower ourselves. Your results are in your control. So thinking forward, the results you have are within your power. And to achieve them, you have to get your mind and your heart and your actions all on board. And with all of you on board, you can't help but make your dreams a reality. You've got this. You've got the power to create the life that you dream of. And it all starts in your mind. You have to manage your thoughts, transform your beliefs, and master your emotions. It's time to take massive action and turn your dreams into a reality. It's time now, my friend, to create your results. Thank you for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to share it and spread the information. Like it, leave a review, subscribe, and share with the people that you love. Join me next time as we continue our journey to becoming our very best selves. Next month's theme is taking action. So this theme is crucial as it's going to bridge the gap between the internal growth that we've been talking about and external achievement, ensuring that your mental and emotional work that you've been putting in, hopefully, is actually going to translate into tangible life changes and accomplishments. So until then, keep creating, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of you. Thank you for joining me today. If you want to take all of these concepts and tools to a deeper level, apply them to your life, and watch the transformation happen, I would love for you to join the Tantalum Tribe. That's a monthly membership where all of our community has access to live coaching, self-paced courses, guest coaches, podcast study guides, anonymous question boards, and more. You too can transform your life using the tools and strategies that we have with accountability built in from our community. I really hope that you join us at tantalumcoaching.com. That's TANTALUM coaching.com. Just click join the tribe. I can't wait to see you in there.
An ironic media production. Visit us at ironickmedia.com.